So I'm really excited today because I'm finally going to make some pumpkin puree because all of these pumpkins came out of my garden this year. Now we always struggle with squash bugs and they always wipe out all of our pumpkin plants every single year. If you know, it's hard to manage squash bugs, so it is a blessing that we got this many pumpkins this year to pumpkin puree so we can make pies and all kinds of desserts. Now what my plan is today is I am just going to strictly freeze these this year, but I am going to use my Instapot to make it really fast so I can puree it down and put into freezer bags and put them right into the freezer. So I'm excited to actually try that this year. This is my very first year trying the Instapot. I use my Instapot for like everything, and I came across a video on Instapot pumpkin puree. So I'm really excited to actually try that this year. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this so we can get this right to the freezer before these start going bad, because these have actually been sitting in my laundry room for a couple weeks now. So I'm actually ready to get them out of the floor of the laundry room and into the freezer so we can have fresh pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving and maybe Christmas and whatever else dessert that we come up with this fall. So how I'm starting this is, now that they're washed and ready to go, I am going to cut off the tops of the pumpkin, and then I'm going to save what I can of the skin because there's actually nutrients in the skin. So some of these that I noticed were a little green on the outside of the pumpkin, so I just took my potato peeler and kind of just scraped off all the green that was on the outside because I really don't want that going into my puree. But a lot of these look fine, and I'm just going to keep the skin on the outside, and it'll all puree down into whenever they are done in the Instapot. And I'm gonna save the seeds out of all these pumpkins because I'm gonna do another recipe on salted pumpkin seeds for a snack for the kids, and I think they'll really like that. So I'm gonna keep that, all of this bowl, until I'm ready for that. But I'm gonna work on getting all of these done and into the Instapot. It really doesn't take that long to do. Okay, so I'm just gonna add this little rack into my Instapot. This should come with your Instapot whenever you buy it. And this will just help protect not scorching the pumpkin on the very bottom. So put that down in there. So I added all my pumpkin slices in the Instapot, and it's at my max level. And mine, I don't know if you can see this right in here, but there's a max line. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour about a quart of water into the bottom, and this just helps the pumpkin not scorching on the bottom. All right, I'm gonna place the lid on my Instapot and get it locked in. And I'm gonna put the seal on. Make sure the seal is on the back. I'm gonna put on high pressure for 10 minutes. So this will take just a couple minutes for this to heat up and come to pressure, and then it'll cook for 10 minutes. And then when it's done, it'll shut off, and then we'll let it sit just for like a minute or two, and then we'll release the pressure in it. And then we'll just repeat the process on our next batch of pumpkin, and then we'll start the puree. The pumpkin's done. Now I'm gonna release the pressure. Let that go down all the way till that little red thing goes all the way down. There's no more pressure in it. It depressurized. So now I'm gonna open this up carefully, and the steam won't get too hot on you. So it looks like it's gonna take about probably 3 rounds in the Instapot. And I believe I had 9 small pumpkins. So I got the second one in the Instapot, and then this is the third one that needs to be cooked down. So I'm just gonna go through the process of getting it all cooked. And then I'm putting it into this pot right here with the lid on to keep it warm. Then I'm gonna puree all of it whenever it's all cooked. So while I'm waiting for all of my pumpkin to cook down, I'm just separating the seeds out of my scrap pile here. And I'm not gonna do too many, but I did wanna go ahead and make a little treat for the kids whenever they get home from school. I think my daughter will really enjoy that. She loves getting the pumpkin seeds out every year whenever we carve pumpkins. So, and this one's special because it comes from our home that we've grown all the pumpkins this year. So I'm just gonna separate all these and then wait on the other pumpkins to cook. Okay, I'm gonna rinse these really well and try to get all these stringy stuff off all of this. Just gonna lay them on a towel. Okay, so this is probably about 4 cups of water to 2 tablespoons of salt. This is gonna be different depending on how much pumpkin seeds that you have. Okay, so it's actually been about 30 minutes that these have been in my oven. They're starting to get that nice little golden color. I'm gonna go ahead and pull them because I don't want them to start tasting burnt or anything, so. So this is about all I did today. And honestly, this is quite a bit of work. If you ever separate pumpkin seeds from a pumpkin, it's messy, it's time consuming, and this came right from our garden, so blessed to have this, and my kids will love eating this as a snack. Pumpkin seeds are a good dewormer, so if you research that, see what your benefits to pumpkin seeds are. It's a great little snack. All right, I'm gonna drain off the rest of this pumpkin and let all the juices come out of it because I don't want my pumpkin puree too watery. So I'm gonna try to get all the liquid to drain out as much as possible, and if it has to sit in here for quite a while, that's fine. Okay, so the time has come. It's time to puree the pumpkin. So I'm gonna take a masher first, a potato masher, and I'm gonna mash up as much as I can before I start using my blender. Okay, so you need to be really careful with this blender, this immersion blender. You always want to keep it below all the stuff that you have cooked. You never want to lift it out whenever you're blending because this stuff is really hot and you don't want this all over your skin. So always keep it down into the pumpkin when you're turning it on, and this will take a while to blend up. Just take your time and get it blended up really well. Okay, and then you want to go in and make sure you scrape up every little thing from the bottom, making sure everything is getting pureed. Okay, so all the pumpkin is pureed, and I'm gonna let it sit in this pot until it completely cools before I put it into freezer bags. Now I'm gonna take 2 cups of this pumpkin puree and I'm gonna put it into a quart size freezer bag. And then I'll lay it flat in the freezer and then it's all done. So I'll let this pumpkin puree completely cool, and then I will start packaging all the pumpkin puree into freezer bags and laying them down in the freezer, and then my job is done for the pumpkin year. So that's really nice that I got that done. I was just looking at that in the laundry room every single day and just knowing that I needed to get it done. So I'm super glad that that is over. It took me a couple hours to get done, and my hands are really sore from cutting up all the pumpkin, but it was done for the year. So I'm gonna go ahead and label some of these because it's hard to label whenever you have the pumpkin puree already in your bag. And I really don't know how many that I'll need, but I'm just gonna do a couple and see how far it will go. So you're gonna put the date, which I'm gonna just put the year, and then what it is. And then that way, it's so much easier whenever you go ahead and label these. All right, 9 small pumpkins from my garden gave me about 10 2-cup quart size pumpkin puree. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I know I really enjoyed making this video, and I'm excited that I got pumpkins this year to actually make pumpkin puree. So I am excited to get that done. Those pumpkins were sitting in my laundry room and just needed to be pureed. And using the Instapot is so much faster than using an oven. Using an Instapot, not only do you get to puree it quicker, but you get to use the skins from the pumpkin, and you get to keep all the nutrition from those skins in your pumpkin puree. Now, if you're using an oven, you can't do that. The texture will be totally off and it won't puree right. So that's another reason why I like using the Instapot, is you can literally just keep the skin on and puree everything. So even just a little bit of the stringiness that's left inside the pumpkin is totally fine too. Everything gets so hot in Instapot, and it's easily pureed down, and you can't even tell that the skins and some of that stuff is in there. So that is why I like using the Instapot. It's fast, you keep nutrition from the skin. So if you guys like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will be making more videos. I'm just really glad that this video got done today, because we are in the beginning of fall now. I think the first day of fall was a couple days ago, so this really started off my fall season just right, making pumpkin puree.